friends, this is Syed Reshma Sharif. In this video lecture, we are going to discuss about a microcontrollers. What is microcontroller? It is an integrated circuit that is performed or programmed to do a specific task. Okay, for doing a specific task, all these microcontrollers are integrated in a special circuit. Microcontrollers are really just mini computers. Okay. Where do you find them? Microcontrollers are hidden in terms of appliances, gadgets, and other electronics like refrigerators, TVs, microwave oven, cameras, printers, scanners, mobiles, and each and every gadgets or other electronics. All these microcontrollers are hidden. Without these microcontrollers, no gadgets and no electronic appliances are worked. Okay. History of microcontrollers. This history of microcontrollers starting from 1939, they are vacuum tubes. Next, after 1947, converted as transistors. Next, in 1960, they use logic gates. In after 1971, we are going to use microcontrollers. Okay. What is the difference between microprocessor and microcontroller? Let us discuss. Based upon application, speed, external parts, cost, energy uses, we are going to classify these microprocessors as well as microcontrollers. Okay, applications generally computers, laptop, tablets, tabs, mobiles, they are going to use microprocessor, whereas microcontrollers, they uses appliances, specialized devices. Only some special devices we are going to use microcontrollers. The speed of microprocessor is very fast compared with the microcontrollers. Relatively, microcontrollers are somewhat slow compared with microprocessors. Okay, external parts of microprocessors are many, whereas in microcontrollers there are very few parts because each and every part are inbuilt in these microcontrollers. Okay, the cost of these microprocessors is high because we are going to use many external parts in microprocessors, so the cost is also very high. Whereas in microcontrollers, the cost is very low because relatively we are going to use less number of equipments, okay, or less number of external parts. So the cost is low compared with microprocessor. The energy usage in this microprocessor is medium to high, whereas in microcontroller very low to low. Okay, mostly the microprocessor uses which companies they are going to use microprocessor. Intel, we usually see in our laptops and all. Intel Core, okay, ARM processors. These in microcontroller they are Atmel, ST, Texas Instruments, microchips. Okay. This microprocessor, mainly Intel Core microprocessor, consists of system bus, clock, RAM, data storage, peripheral bus, etc. Here SPI, USB, digital analog converters, analog to digital converters, Ethernet, SD or MMC. These are the memories. SD and MMC are the memory cards. Okay. These SPI and USB are the universal serial bus and serial peripheral interface. Okay. This is a microcontroller structure. Okay. Processor core, system bus, clock, RAM, data storage, peripheral bus, whereas serial USB, digital to analog converter, as well as analog to digital converters, Ethernet, SD or MMC cards. Basic principle of operation of these microcontrollers are used for specific applications. They do not need to be powerful because most applications only require a clock for a few megahertz and small amount of storage. Okay, these microcontrollers uses only specific applications. They do not need any powerful because most applications only require a clock of few megahertz and small amount of storage. Microcontrollers needs to be programmed to be useful. A microcontroller is only as useful as the code written for it. If you wanted to turn on a red light when a temperature reached a certain point, the program would have to especially specify how that will happen through this code. Okay, this point, microcontroller is only as useful as the code written for it. It is only useful for the particular code we are going to return for it. If you want to turn a red light when a temperature reaches to a certain point, the programmer would have to especially specify how that it will happen. How, why, in which way we have to turn a red light on. We have to write a code for this microcontroller particularly with specific applications. This microcontroller programming. This is a code written for a microcontroller. It is an integrated development environment or a PC program. Okay, the code is written in a programming language, that is example C, basics or assembly language. Okay, we have to write in a code written with a microcontroller in an integrated development environment. The IDE debugs, IDE nothing but integrated development environment, debugs the code for errors. Okay, it rectifies some of the errors which are occurred in this code and then compiles it to a binary code which is a microcontroller can execute. Okay, again it compiles it into a binary code so that only the microcontroller can execute its program. A programmer is piece of hardware, not a person. It is used to transfer the code from the personal computer to the microcontroller. For this transfer only we need to write it in a code. Okay, the microcontroller. The most common type of programmer is an ICSP, that is an in-circuit serial programmer. It is not a person, it is a hardware in which here we are going to write a program for transfer the code from personal computer to a microcontroller. Okay, this is a microcontroller programming. Okay, here this is a microcontroller. In PC we are going to write this one and it is debugging. Here integrated circuit serial programming which is used to transfer the code from personal computer to a microcontroller so that only now it can understand the code which is we are going to given. For switch on the red light or for programming we have to debug the program in this microcontroller. Okay, this is to analog to digital converters. Just about even modern microcontroller contains an analog to digital converters. It converts analog voltages into a digital values. Okay, these digital representation of a signals at hand can be analyzed in code, logged in memories, or used in practically any other way possible. This is the analog voltage signal. Here the analog to digital convert. See here the samples are there. These samples converts these analog to digital form. This one is a first sample and next one is in a second sample. Like this the sampling has taken place here for converting into a analog to a digital form. After conversion it look like, see how it look like. It is in a form of analog to digital. After converting with voltage and time difference graph, it is represented as an analog to digital converter. The signal is converted in a digital form, not in an analog. Applications of these microcontrollers are, this is the main controller from a big regal. This board has several microcontrollers each for a specific task. Example, microcontroller may handle dashboard controls or it may even control something more complex like the ignition systems. Many robots use microcontrollers to allow robots to interact with the real world. Example, if the proximity sensor senses an object nearby, the microcontroller will know to stop its motor and then find an unobstructed path. Isn't it? This is about microcontrollers. So thank you for your watching. If you have any doubts regarding this, you can comment me on my comment section. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.